that shit doesn't get you amped, I don't know what will. What's going on, guys? It's the Knivesmen. We're back again. One Knife Paul here with my main man, Riley, on the scene. Kicking it old school. Riley, how you doing down in SC, buddy?
Pretty good, man. I'm doing it. Just watching this weather. Might get a little rainstorm, but we're outside today. Feels nice.
Yeah, you know what? You can't beat the weather right now. It's beautiful here too in Ontario. I mean, I had enough rain this week through the Midwest, so it's nice to see some sunshine on both ends of the spectrum here. You know.
Yep. Nice.
So today, we want to hit all the good stuff, and there's our topic. In case you didn't know, we're doing some budget offerings and more. We're gonna be chatting it up, and we got Mark coming in right away with always a good day when you guys are on my stream. Mark, kid, that's Mark, kid. Awesome, man. Love having you showing up, buddy. It's your staple of the show now, which is awesome. We're talking some budget offerings like we are in the group IBEDC. I got the shirt going on. We're gonna be doing that a little bit more. First of all, let's do a pocket dump. I'll throw up first here. It's quick and simple. It's the weekend. It's easy. And for the 7th day in a row, I am still carrying the Precision Hunter D2 Dozier from K-Bar. So day 7, she's still going pretty strong. The only thing on this little cheapie so far that I can notice is just a little bit up and down play when she's closed or open, sorry. And you know what? That's to be expected out of a budget backlock, right? I mean, it happens. On the wrist, though, we are packing the GWG 2000 Mudmaster. Just got that in last night, and beauty. It's a beauty. Riley, let's see what is in your pokés, monsieur.
All right. Not going to be playing with this guy too much because sitting Indian style and don't want to hurt anything. Rayout XO. And that's enough of that. Well, I guess I should mention handmade dark matter fat carbon scales. Andy Doe.
Yeah.
Super nice. Yep. Works for
I like the simplicity of that it's literally open, out, close. You know, it's just a very simple, like a stapler.
Yeah. And for some reason, this guy keeps finding its way in my pocket. I'm wearing jogging shorts today, but it's still with the ulti clip. It fits in the pocket, stays put, and I can still pull it when I need to, you know, and put it back in easy when I need to.
Tell everyone what that one is again. Sorry.
This is the Boker AK1, I believe.
Yeah. Love the blade shape.
Yeah. That's what sold me on it, and the Bison micarta I thought was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Just the already kind of darkened, but it's got a polish to it. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's going to patina much. It will on the edges, you know. So it'll probably darken a little on the edges, but
what do you need all that extra hand grease in there for, anyways, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's got good grip, but it is a little bit smaller. You know, I mean, I can barely get the full grip on it, but
so just guys keep in mind, Riley does wear a small glove. Kids small. Kids small.
I wear a large glove. Actually, a large between a large and an extra large. Honestly,
get out of here, XL.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like large will get tight on me.
Kids XL, right? No, I'm shitting you, but
and also just so I can show it a little bit better. Take this guy off.
Is that's the Aviator.
Navajo.
Oh,
Navajo ProMaster. Yeah. Citizen.
It's so hard to say Citizen ones because you're like Q94X. They don't ever have cool names. It's hard, but it's the Aviator.
It's the Navajo ProMaster, the green one. Gotcha. There you go. Is the green one. But the green one. That's on the wrist, and pretty much that's it for today. I mean, like I said, like jogging pants kind of carry, or jogging shorts carry. So just doing yard work and whatnot. So
we give a shout out to Chris V as well. He's been a while since he caught the show.
What's up, Chris?
Yeah, we're not as regular as usual. We try. Lives get in the way. But
they do.
Today, as we did mention, we are going to be talking some budget offerings. Look, we got the title again, budget offerings and more. We are also live on IBEDC this week. I didn't even check the feed. I'm just assuming because I had a big brain moment in the truck and figured it out. And we're also live in the unofficial Spyderco fan group, which I help run, and Twitch TV and YouTube. So all the good stuff. Budget stuff. We're going to lead with that. We got some other stuff, trailing in the rear there that might be fun to talk about later. But IBEDC this month, hashtag BB22, we got the budget blowout. And it's really to encourage people to look at what you can get for less money. Hence why I'm still carrying. It wasn't a challenge, but people are kind of hopping on and carrying for a month like one single budget knife. And Lanning had started it, and I don't know if he's still partaking, but I'm holding true with the Dozier and going nuts, and I'm really enjoying the knife so far. We're encouraging people to look at the budget knives, budget brands, find something that's under $150, So that's what kind of inspired today's show, I guess. So anyway, we want to kick it off. First of all, I'm going to throw out a brand that I personally come back to a lot. In my journey, I started with them with a shuffle. Somebody might already know what I'm talking about. A shuffle was kind of my first big boy knife, I guess, back in like 2013 or 14 or something. I was like, I'm going to get a normal one. And I thought it was the bee's knees, and I evolved from there and went all over, but I keep going back to them, and that brand is Kershaw. So what do we have to say about Kershaw? I really like their kind of higher price stuff, I guess closer to the $100 mark, because they recently have been starting to use better steels and stuff. They do have some really great models, and with the upgraded steels have made it obtainable more so for people to try, like say 20 CV or M390 at times. The dividend, the link is one of my personal favorites, the way that fills the hand. I came unprepared. I was aimed completely at just talking at you guys for an hour. And the Kershaw Blur, it's been around for, more than 15 years, and it's gone through so many iterations. They're excellent knives. The USA made stuff really stands up to me. I've been through their Chinese stuff and it was fun, but I like their American made stuff. What do you think? What's your kind of opinion on it there, Riley?
I mean, all around, I like Kershaw. I always have. I mean, it's a good starter brand for anyone. You can start at the bottom, work your way up. You can start at the bottom and friggin' stay there if you want to. I mean, it's completely up to you. But they have places for you to go if you want to spend more money and you want to be, you want to get into better and better steels and better designers and better designs, because it's just like, Kershaw is also ZT or Kai USA, whatever you want to call it. Yep. They have in-house designs. Those in-house designs are, in my opinion, some of their better stuff.
Yes.
I like them kind of up and down. I like some of the ZT stuff, not a lot. I like the way they're made. I just haven't really found anything that I really liked. I had the 0470 Sinkovich for a while, or the 470, whatever you want to call it. I had that guy for a while, and that's not budget, but at the time, it was a really decent knife. It had it was just, to me, it was almost too plain. It was like, it's great. It's but it's standard blade shape. But like from a designer like Sinkovich, I kind of expect a little bit more, I guess. But Kershaw, you can get anything from the shuffle to, I mean, they have so much, in the budget realm.
The copper natures, right? Kind of going from one extreme to the other. You're going shuffle and some around the very bottom end, and then you're getting the copper matrix. You're getting the link in 20 CV.
And I mean, it's like even their automatics. Their automatics are very much worth the money. I
Yes.
mean, but under $150 easily. I mean,
Well,
and I'm pretty
I
sure
think
this is a
it's about $100 US or so
yeah,
for the
yeah,
smallest. It's similar to like the launch one I had seen.
yeah. And I mean, it's CPM 154,
Yep.
but I mean, and it's just like with you can get the same type. I mean, this is almost to me, it's almost like a shuffle with a backwards blade. It's
Yeah.
just it's a good little knife. It's good to have. And I think I got this for like 115 US
Yeah,
or 119 or something.
they're covering their bases on their autos, and their
Yeah,
autos are damn well affordable, and they kick like mules.
yeah. And the
Um,
only thing that's comparable to this, honestly, is friggin' ProTech. As
yep.
far as like this style and this type of automatic, ProTech is the next up. And I mean, they're not much more expensive. I mean, honestly, and that's why I know Kershaw. I really like Kershaw because I compare them to ProTech, and I think they're pretty damn close. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Runt, you get it for $150, and you get 20 CV steel. You know,
Yep.
um, there are some ProTechs out there, that are decent, I guess, budget options. But I like Kershaw. I mean, and that's the thing. I normally have a lot more Kershaw, but I've given a few away.
Yeah.
My copper Natrix, I gave that to a friend's son-in-law or something. I don't even know who he was giving it to. He said he needed to work. I was like, here, give him this, but and that's because they're good for people that just need a work knife, that want something something they can go out there and beat up. Fine, you're going out, you go beat up a $60 knife.
That's
No big
true,
deal.
right?
And it's going to put up, it's going to, it's going to live up to the abuse for the most part. I mean, I know your blur's been abused. I mean, and every
my
person I've
one
ever,
my one was used pretty good. That's the M4 blur that I had. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I told you, but my real estate agent, he had a blur, and man, you should have seen that thing, bro. Holy smokes! It didn't even look like I had a recurve to it anymore. He had used that thing so much, and I ended up getting him a
The mini
mini
Adamas.
Adamas, yeah.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, man, keep your blur, because he was like, I still don't want to get rid of it. I was like, don't
Yeah.
keep both of them, keep one as a work truck,
That's
and he
right.
was like, he was in awe because he would never spend that type of money, and the blur to him was like, you know, I mean, me as a kid, I didn't get a Kershaw first. I ended up with a buck knife because that's
Of
just how it
course.
is here. You know what I'm saying? But
Another awesome budget knife, by the way, the Bucks.
exactly. But I
Yeah.
started whenever I was able to buy my own stuff, I started going after Kershaw because it was more innovative, and they're constantly evolving. And I mean,
Yeah.
they only have two companies really that you're going in between. It's not like they have, all of this different brands and they don't act like they know each other and all that nonsense. It just, it's ZT and Kershaw. If Kershaw doesn't have what you want, ZT doesn't have what you want, then they're just not for you. But they do have a lot of things to offer that should be for anybody that just needs a decent knife. You know,
I'm totally going to agree with you on the in-house designs. I
yeah,
remember Lanning bought that flip joint, the
yeah,
double D10.
double
He's like,
D10.
what's this Maker's Mark? And it looks like the Quake logo. If anybody is an old school gamer here, the Quake 1 logo, except it's up at a 1 o'clock position, and that's on a lot of their knives that I personally love the most, like the Blur
Yeah,
and the Link and the Dividend, the Natrix. They're great in-house designers for what they're offering. And again, saying you gave a copper Natrix to a guy, which got D2, which is a great working steel. They do a great job on it. Personally, I haven't had any issues with bad D2 yet, even from China on a lot of different brands. I prefer D2 on my budget knives, and hence why I got the D2 Dozier, right?
I mean, and
They
honestly,
do a hell of a job.
the whole point of it is, though, you can get something that's made in-house, good, good materials, great materials a lot of times, and all for, right around $100.
I
It's
almost
kind of
think
hard to beat,
I almost think it's like you're saving money getting a great in-house design versus them paying. Well, again, the Blur that was Canadian. Sorry, that's a Canadian design. but it's like, you know, you paid a little bit extra. It's probably a couple bucks, whatever, and maybe not, towards the designer, right? But you're paying Kershaw to say, hey, I like what you did here. Keep it up with your guys in house. They're designing great knives. Like the Link, I keep going back to it. The Link is one of my favorite designs that they've offered for years. And the Blur, I picked one up finally. I was like, damn, why did I sleep on this? And it's an awesome design too. And they make it so good. The Blur and the Link are my two favorite models from them right now. And again, you can get that in the $75 versions, right? With the Sandvik steel or something, if you just want to try it and get a flavor for it. And then they've offered so many iterations of, say, the Blur in different color aluminum scales and stuff. The rubber grip, honestly, is not that bad. You hate it, you take a lighter to it and just kind of just touch it. It lessens the grip. But it's come in so many flavors. Like I've got the blue M4 one now, and like that's going to be my keeper one. I had a pair of gray M4 ones. You know, I beat the shit out of one. I sold it to Johnny in the IBAC. You know, he's a great guy, and he loves it. And it's, even though it's assisted, like they're both assisted, but they feel half assisted because you can still close one hand really easily. You know, most of their assisted are that way.
It's just like the dividend that with them, you know, the splicing the two steels together, you know, forging them together.
I think, they did it with D2 and like 154 or something, and that was really cool design with the little teeth they put in it almost.
And,
awesome design for it.
Yeah, and it's again, it's just they're always trying to constantly move forward a little bit. You know, they're trying to evolve. So it's good that they're not, you know, they're not just making the same crap over and over or copying designs and, you know, anything like that. But they're just, you know, they're pumping out decent stuff, and it's changing and it's evolving with the time, and it's a good damn company regardless. I mean,
that's the thing, like with their lower end stuff, I feel like that's their because Kershaw, again, one company, Kai, one company, but Kershaw even has those two tiers where it's like, all right, we're gonna send in the newbies and see how they do. If this budget model does well, that's when they start saying, oh, whatever this one was did really well. Excuse me, the bare knuckle did really well the other year. And so they offer a little bit better version. So it's almost like you hold out, but you almost want to support them by getting the base model too, because you're like, damn, don't sleep on them, man.
Because in reality, I mean, there has been at least one or two knives that ended up being a high-end ZT or started out as a high-end ZT. And it ended up going all the way down through the levels, and everybody loved it all the way around.
0770 or 7007, I think it is.
Yeah.
It's very close to a Natrix / Link, and it's assisted and whatever, but it's a gentle use ZT, so it's out of the budget offering. But speaking of their higher end stuff, it's the kind of the bottom of the ZT tier, S35 VN, something like that. But it's very similar blade style and shape handle wise to say like I think it's the bare knuckle and the Link, and I mean, it shows you where they can go with this stuff.
The 470 I was just talking about, the Sinkevich. It's all it is a big Atmos or whatever it is. The little, I think it's the Atmos. It's the other little Sinkevich design, but it's just a tiny 0470. You know what I'm saying?
But again, that's the thing. I can't afford. Say I can't afford or don't want to drop that money on bloody ZT because it's ZT and they cost more money, man. And for me, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with ZT for people that have seen this, but they give you a budget option, which is awesome, because that puts that design and that knife in somebody's hand that might never have a chance to do it, and they're pretty darn good at what they do.
Absolutely.
But we talk about that bottom barrel, not bottom barrel. I don't want to say it in a bad way, and it's really hard sometimes not to use the lingo that I use, but I don't mean it in disrespect ways towards companies, etc. But you're talking about the bottom tier of stuff, and then it's like you can go sideways to CRKT, right? And then they've got okay offerings too, right? I don't feel the same way about CRKT that I do about Kershaw in any sense of the way, but they're doing well as a company too, and improving, you know, putting D2 and more stuff on their slightly lower end mid-tier stuff, and they are coming out with a lot of nicer designs now. You know, they're starting to evolve as a company, And I mean, you yourself had the CRKT the other week that was a fairly
Yeah,
decent looking knife.
Yeah. And I mean, CRKT, I don't really have much, to say about them, good or bad necessarily. But I mean, yeah, they're trying to change it up a little bit. And I mean, honestly, there are some other brands that most people never, ever, ever talk about that are honestly trying to step it up a little bit. And one of them is actually Schrade.
Recently, yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're going back to making stuff almost in-house, USA made.
Almost, yeah.
And they're putting a little bit of the newer technology and innovation in them. So
for
I mean,
the Canadian audience, those are the ones that you find at Crappy Tire for $23 in the blister pack. Yeah.
And they're going to end up being better is the thing. So
yeah,
you might want to look at them again a little bit.
I'm hoping to see more out of them. It's the same as SOG, right? SOG was sleeping for so long. Yeah. And a lot of reason I avoid a lot of lower ends because I know how 8CR functions. I know how 7CR functions, and I'm kind of bored of it. Yes, you can get by on your everyday with 8CR. No problem, man. You can get by on that and come home, you strap it up or give it a little touch on the ceramics. Yes, you can get by on it. I'm a truck driver. I take it for 5 or 6 or 7 days at a time. So I kind of like the stuff that'll last a little bit longer, even though I've got a workshop in the truck. I'd rather not play with it. I just put it in my pocket, admire it, do my thing. So I've had enough experience with it where I tend to avoid the models with that steel now. And it's nice to see SOG step up to S35. You're paying a little bit more. Yeah. But they've got their version of the Axis lock now. A lot of companies do, which is great. That's a fun lock. Why not? And you're starting to see it on more budget options now. Whereas on Benchmade, you're spending money for that little butterfly.
Yeah, for the most part.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and there are a ton of just if you're more budget minded, then I mean, especially me, I'll say it. I don't care.
Yeah.
There's Gerber, there's Buck. A lot of them, if you want, you can pay for the USA made. Some of the designs are worth it. I don't think Gerber's in-house design team is nearly as. I don't know.
They're not strong yet. They're not as strong as what they could be yet.
No, but they're definitely willing to try some out of the box shit. Cause literally the flat iron, the tri-tip. I mean they sat around and named them after steaks. So I mean how I mean didn't they have a strip loin or something?
I have a tri-tip downstairs in the kitchen for cutting kitchen stuff.
See, I mean, and that's the thing. And I actually thought, and whenever I first saw the prototype, whenever I was seeing it on the videos for Blade Show, the front edge was sharpened, and I was like, I really like it. Yeah. And then whenever it went into production, it wasn't. And I was like that was the best part about it. Why did you not?
That's the thing. Why take away the Razel design essentially, right? So maybe they had issues with Graham. You never know. I mean.
Hey.
CRKT did great versions of Graham's work.
Graham might want to look around at some of Stanley's stuff that they've been making because they got a freaking construction chisel knife.
Yeah,
that thing looks crazy.
Yeah, and then
and it's like $10.
Well, yeah. Well, that's it, right? And they can offer that, and away you go. If that works that works for you.
Straight through a chicken. I'm telling you, I actually bought it too because I want to test one out. I'm gonna just try and whack through like a chicken with it or something.
Mark added a good comment here. So Mark says I'd carry the tri-tip more if the sheath wasn't such garbage, and 100% agree. Trying to take XL hands, trying to take that thing out, and I'm never great at sheath retention in general if they're too tight. If it was like a leather sheath, 100%, but this thing's got a button where you'll depress it and the rear of the blade can slide out. And so I agree 100% with Mark there. That is a huge downfall to that knife. And I mean, if you got a little custom leather sheath made, 100% that knife would be way more pocketable, way more terrible. You can put it in your pocket, man. I could carry it in my pocket for the week and I would be happy. even though I think it's like 7CR, 8CR, whatever. Awesome design, because the way I hold it, I can't just grab the handle because I'm hanging off like this. So I'm right choked up when I go and do my work. Awesome knife, but yes, that sheath kills it.
Yeah. And that was another thing that kind of a little bit turned me off of that. Was the way that the handle just seemed like there was no way it could really be that comfortable.
Well, what you could do for the price that thing is, shear off the handles, get a piece of wood, and literally you could extend it and make it like a little cleaver. Like I'm almost in my head thinking, I should just take those handles off, those little aluminum handles, and away you go. But the way I grab it, I'll cradle it with my rear fingers, and I'm pinched up on that blade to go, and I really enjoy it that way for kitchen stuff, right? Making stews and stuff. It works well for me that way. And I got a buddy out east there, Ron. You know Ron. He says he's chopped through trees like this with it out in the wilderness because he had nothing else, so he just went to freaking town. And I was like, that's pretty impressive, right? Putting the blade through something like that for that size blade and handle, like good on him, man. That's impressive.
And I mean, whenever I think about it, because for some reason it just popped in my head, pretty much almost everybody has every knife company has something in the budget line or the budget realm for people. This guy, Boker Tech Tool.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, their lines are very well set, right? Boker Magnum. Yeah.
You can see how much I get carried with a tip up clip. I hadn't even got around to putting it on the back. So, like.
That's your peachy knife, your peachy girl.
I just got it because it glows in the dark. Orange. And it's not orange. It never turns orange. It's peach. It's peach in the day and it's yellow at night whenever it glows.
You know what? So. That color would kind of grow on me because it's a little 80s feeling and I'm a sucker for the 80s.
It totally feels like something you get out of a gumball machine in the South. Like a toy knife.
Yeah.
If you opened it up and it was peach inside too, like the blade was peach. Totally get out of a gumball machine.
It'd be like Boger's version of the glow in the dark Delica and stuff that Spyderco did. I got my daughter one of those ages ago.
But I mean,
I like the color. It would grow on me, man. It's cute.
Yeah, I like it. But I mean, it's a cheap little budget knife, and it's a decent. It's not a bad knife. It's not going to stay sharp.
Tech tools in general are pretty decent, and in my opinion, I like them better than Swiss Army because they come with the damn clip, and you can take them apart if you had to.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
Mark's here. I know you might not be able to check that one, but Mark says that's going to be called the Boker Peaches and Cream. I like it. Honestly, the more I see him play with that knife, the more I kind of like that orange. He's going to end up sending to me at some point, guaranteed.
Probably, because it didn't glow like I thought it would.
Exactly. So. I'll carry that ugly peach all day long, but you know me, and I got pink knives, man. I love pink knives. I love starting to gravitate towards the weird colors.
Anybody that's ever watched us talk knows one way or another this knife was going to make an appearance, so it might as well go ahead and make an appearance.
And it wasn't me. Danger Banana of IBEDC is not here today.
Well, I mean, but you talk budget.
Yes.
This thing, I got this thing for right at $30.
Yep.
JG10, nothing too special about it.
But you get D2 as well, which is for a budget knife, blow the mind.
Yeah.
This is the knife, guys. If you want
it's real steel, but they also had a designer. This is a collaboration. Yep. So this is Poltergeist Works and Real Steel. Great slip joint.
This is why that over
65 and a 3
the half stop at 65. This is something that isn't seen, and this makes a great knife. And I've carried this solo in the truck for the week at times, and it's a great knife. The Luna is the definition of a great budget knife. I'm telling you.
If you gave me $35 and said I could only buy one knife, you can kiss my ass. I'm buying this. I don't care. I don't care.
And there's so many versions.
I can take it to any country. I mean, except
Yes.
for, I mean, I'm sure certain ones they have, you know, the blade restriction where I might not be able to take it.
Yeah.
But it's non-locking, and just the safety of that, you know, you're not.
But honestly, I feel it's a lot like, say, the UK PK, where if you're choked up and you go to it'll close, it won't go anywhere because your index and your thumb are still riding on the textured parts. There's jimping on the top and bottom, I think. Yeah. And I don't remember because it's been a while since I played with the Luna, but there's jimping there that even if you're choked up close to that blade, it will not shut on you. This is one of the nicest slip joints for $50 that you are ever going to buy, anybody. Seriously, this is, if you listen to any knife recommendation that I ever say, this is probably the one, man. The Luna tops it, dude. I'm so glad you brought that out.
And very unobtrusive pocket flip.
And the screws are sunk in, aren't they?
But I am going to tell everyone this because I had issues with selling one of these knives. Because someone tried to take the pocket clip off and thought that underneath this, that those are screws sticking out. Or that, you know, they were rivets. They're not. They're the bottom of the screw from the inside of the scale. You have to take this part, and you have to take this knife apart to get the pocket clip off.
That's right. That was my mistake, by the way, everybody. Somebody said it. When I first got mine and inspected it, yes, if you take the front scale off, you can take the pocket clip off with screws that go in from the inside. Ingenious.
Yeah.
And it's sunk in. It is such a great fit and finish, too. $50.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Like
I should have carried that for the month. I miss Danger Banana.
Yeah, it's a great knife. And again, funny thing is, even just this knife can go from here to $100 and some odd if you want to get micarta 735 VN, whatever. It can go there.
Or the titanium frame lock version, or there's a lot of options for this knife.
But the titanium frame lock in N690 is still only $100.
Yeah, it's under 150 still. It's still an awesome budget offering. You're still getting, and then you're getting great steel on top of it. Even though D2 awesome.
Yep.
I wish I carried Danger Banana for this month, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
I love it.
I'm pretty sure that I paid under 150 for the Damascus, for the ballback Damascus version with micarta. So I mean,
it gives people so many options with so like how we talked, Kershaw has the bottom and the middle. It's that you can get your mid-range, but then you can also get the same one but with nicer steel on it and stuff, right? Which is so awesome. I love that.
I mean, and why would I recommend a knife that I literally have freaking 7 of?
You know what? I'm gonna dig out that picture and throw it in IBEDC after the show.
What, my Lunas? Or all of our
all of our Lunas, where Danger Banana was taking front stage because he didn't have the yellow G10. I was like, I'm throwing her on there. But I mean, shoot, it came in so many different colors. When you got it, it had the layout and it had like a color swatch of the freaking rainbow. So if you can find it, you can get almost any color of that knife that you really want. Purples and blues and reds. Oh, awesome. It can suit your carry, man, which is great.
Yeah, and it can kind of reflect your style, you know, in whatever way, you know.
And again, blade swaps. You want Damascus and red? Sure, just blade swap. It's the same damn internals, right?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's just like the difference in someone saying that micarta patinas and me saying it's just dirt and it's dirt and grease. Prove me wrong. You know, it's not patina. It's filth. And it's not, you know.
But,
I mean, and I clean micarta constantly.
That one micarta one with the Damascus, I think it is, that you got. Oh, buddy, that micarta feels beautiful.
Yeah, and it, yeah, I like, and that's the thing. I like it, but that's why I don't carry it a lot. And it's not because I'm scared of messing up the blade. It's because I'm scared of it getting grimy. But I do carry it because I like that knife. And I've gotten to where I carry a lot more of my stuff because, you know, you can't take nothing with you. So, but, you know, and we mentioned Buck.
Yep.
Buck has a lot of great budget options for anyone. You know, I have a couple of Buck knives.
I got a few too.
Yeah. I mean, my dad carried a Buck knife, and my dad was one of the most frugal people in the world. So, I mean, that was the thing about him. He was like, I mean, he would tell you, he would say, I don't like to spend money, but to him, a buck knife was not a budget knife. You know, to my father, that was not a budget knife. That was an expensive, you know, it was, you know, he was spending money, just like a Parker pen to him, you know, paying $50-$60 for a guy that grew up in the Depression, that's a big freaking deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, it wasn't budget to him, but he was like, I'm going to have a decent pen and I'm going to have a damn decent knife. And that's just how he felt about it.
Well, that's it. Buck, again, they vary in the States. I've seen them, the 110s go on sale for $25. Naturally, they're about $60 at Walmart.
Yeah.
Right. And it's still worth $60. Honestly, a traditional 420AC 110, $60, 100%. And that's a quality knife.
Yeah. You could buy that knife right now and use it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 100%, man.
Use it for the rest of your life. I mean, that's the thing. Most of the knives that we have should really last a lifetime, you know? And that's kind of the, you know, kind of the weird thing of what we do, because we
buy 800 of them and use one.
we always get our money out of it, so to speak, but you know, we never really, you know.
Well, speaking from us, yes, like if you guys don't know, Riley and I, we use everything we buy essentially, except for that huge friggin' Espada XL that I will never use because I never want to try to sharpen 7.5 inches.
I think I have one that I won't use. And
yeah, like it's so rare that we don't use what we buy, at least, you know, for a couple of weeks, man. Just try it out. We might not hard use it, but
I've evolved into that.
I buy it to use it. That's the whole thing. I buy a G-Shock to wear it. I buy a watch to wear it. I buy a knife to use it. And that's our philosophy. That's the Knivesmen, man. That's the Knivesmen way, you know.
Yeah, because now I'm more interested to see, you know, like if, you know, let's just say if I get this and somebody shits me on the heat treat, so to speak, and I find out that it's not what it's supposed to be, you know, like some things
like some other horse-headed companies, right?
Exactly. And, you know, it's not... Never mind. I was about to say something horrible.
It's like, hey, we're having fun. We're having fun, guys. Keep in mind, we're having fun.
Yeah. The knife community has been wild this week. If you keep up with things, we have heat treat and police freaking chase and
shooting and
and whatnot. And
we'll touch on it. We'll touch on it in a bit. I think
if you haven't heard, but anyway, but I mean, like it happens, you know, and like Lanning said, and I kind of have to agree with him. You know, one knife's not really telling you anything.
That is
if somebody gets a big batch of his knives that are across the board, like if you get them from a couple of different iterations or generations, whatever, and they're all crap heat treat, or they're just not what they're supposed to be, then somebody's got some splaining to do.
Well,
but if you can only show me one knife that the heat treat's not right on,
that's it. They effed up, right? Yeah, they effed up. It happens, and he would deal with it. But that brings up what I said right away is like, remember, I don't know how big it was. It was big enough that I seen it at some point. Was the Benchmade Bailout when it first came out in 3V? It was, they didn't really say what the HRC was, but it came out super soft. Like it was running 55. So you were getting edges out of it like you would 8CR or 7CR or something. So that became a big issue where Benchmade was like, okay, we're going to overcompensate. You guys get some nice M4 now and an aluminum handle. And that was pretty awesome. Yeah. So that was a big one as well, right? And that's a big name company as well that had an issue. Right. And that was more than one. That was more than one knife. There was a lot of knives. And I even owned one. I was like, why is this sharpening so easy? You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I don't, I know too many stories that are not necessarily knife related, but the whole MSG thing I think I told you about, that was more or less, MSG got a bad name because three doctors went to lunch and one of them got a bellyache and wrote a paper about it. And the next thing you know, MSG's the freaking devil.
It's so good. You can literally buy it here in a thing. And I'll just put just a little bit, and I mean it's really good if you're having certain types of food that I cook. Exactly. I'll put a little bit on, and my God, it's so good. It's just sodium and stuff, right? Yeah, so honestly, it's all it is.
but that's how things get a bad name.
It's
And
a heat
I'm
treat
not
enhancer.
I'm not saying that I like Hinderer or I'm a huge fan of Rick Hinderer. I could care less. But I mean, if it's only one kid and one knife and one test, I mean, you're not
Then
selling
it's not worth bringing up. But that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. It got brought up.
Yeah.
Which means there's something behind it, because, you know, on the knife meme page, there's guys going nuts. And so something's happening where Rick is actually addressing the issue. And I mean, I own the one. I had that 3.5 or the three triple washer bullshit, whatever it was. And I ended up moving it just before all the fiasco, which was all right. The quality's still good. It's great.
Yeah.
I can find that same kind of quality, etc., in the lower end too, but nothing against people that want to enjoy those knives. Honestly, it's not like Rick is toting stolen valor or anything, right?
Yeah, but you know what? I just thought of Rick Hinderer doesn't have a budget line either.
He's got one knife that has different blade shapes essentially, and a couple little extras here and there. But that's him, right? Same as. Yeah. But you look at Chris Reeves. He doesn't have budget lines. He has the same damn knife over and over again. So it's the same thing. When you get to that price point, they all improve on what they already have that people like.
Yeah.
That's what it comes to at that point. So, and those three people have honestly revolutionized saying, "Oh, here's a knife for this price point." Right back in the day, they were like the big three that were like, "Boom, there's our price point." We're getting way off topic. We're trying to talk budget. We're going on about three of the real mid-tier, high-tier guys here.
But it's one of the things that's kind of sweeping through the knife community. So it's not on topic, but it's kind of on topic.
It's still
things happen.
Honestly, when you're talking budget varies from people to people. We're not talking, 150 is what I said is the limit in IBEDC for the monthly challenge. Yeah. It's just for fun, right? Yeah. But honestly, budget. Other people's budgets are $1,000 for a knife, $1,000 for a watch, or $2,000, whatever, man. Exactly. And there's lots of great options when you start getting up there too. But again, I've said it before. It's in my eyes, for a user, for things like that, you get diminishing returns after a point. And ZT is my point where I get diminishing returns. I have a love-hate relationship with them. I love the look of some of them. I've owned several, some ones that I wish I didn't move, but they're more than what I need, or that the average person needs, or even anybody else really needs at times, built like a tank. But whatever. I'm gonna leave that where it is. But to each their own. Exactly. That's what you guys got to understand too. I mean, we have opinions. Doesn't mean I'm right and Riley's right. It means we have opinions. And if you guys got them, throw them at us, man. I mean, this is it. We want to talk about that stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, again, with the, like we were saying, the lower end budget brands are, what you have to choose from is great. There's good stuff out there. I mean, and of course, there's always going to be bad stuff, and it just depends on your taste. I mean, somebody may watch this and say, like, I don't like any kind of the knives that you carry, and that's great. Then you just like something different. Then you know what you don't want. May very well be just showing people the things that they don't want.
Riley's got a lot in his collection that's like, it's not my taste. I can still appreciate them though. I'm like, shit, that's cool that you like it, or it's really nicely made. It might not be up my alley, especially I wouldn't want to use it or something like that. Yeah. But I can still say, oh, damn, that's cool, right? Yeah. That's what IBEDC is all about, man. Just respecting the game.
You think that's bad? I got a bunch of stuff in my collection I don't like. So
Spyderco native.
What? No.
Some idiot gave you.
There are a couple in there that I'm one of those people, like, I don't know. I buy things a little too quickly. I should ponder on them a little longer. And I bought a few things that I'm like, as soon as I got them in hand, I'm like, and again, not trying to change the subject, but hype versus, actual what you get in your hand. Yeah.
That's a big topic, man.
Yeah, a lot of times people need to, man, I'm telling you, you need to ignore the hype, because I've got about, I'd say damn near $1,000 worth of hype sitting in there that doesn't doesn't get used.
I'm sorry, I learned my hype lesson with that Spyderco Shaman and Zedware, man. I learned the hype lesson. I was like, I knew it wouldn't be right for me, and I held it, and I was like, it's not right for me, and I bought it, and I was like, it's not right for me, I'm selling it.
You know what the funny thing is, and I know Paul's going to be like, oh my God, that's because you need a thinner profile. But I realized like one thing that I really need from an everyday knife is something that, like, if I'm doing something outside and I'm fixing something out here or whatever, I need something that can sharpen a pencil. If I don't have a razor blade on me, like, I need something that can sharpen a pencil. Like, I'm the kind of person.
That's where that Gerber Prybrid comes in handy, bud. Just take a little.
Exactly.
Honestly, having a little secondary, not a bad idea, and a great budget option, by the way. The best thing Gerber's made in a long time, the Prybrid.
Yeah, that's a very good budget option. And every time your blade gets dulled, you can either turn it around or you can buy another one.
That's right. You know what? I've actually sharpened them. I'll sharpen them and hold them up. I'm like, screw it, it works.
Or you can go the other route and you can spend $80 and get a Civivi Mandate with a Damascus razor blade in it, and you can sharpen that. The 7CR MOV.
Another awesome brand, by the way, for the budget conscious. Civivi.
Absolutely.
China has a ton of lines now.
Civivi is more or less the Chinese counterpart for Kershaw. I mean, they have a lot of stuff. Again, and that's the thing. If it doesn't,
they do the weird stuff too. They're experimenting.
They kind of go out the box, but they kind of follow the trends as well. You know, they got the button locks. They're on that right now.
Cleavers, whatever.
And has Kershaw even done a button lock yet?
I don't think so.
Holy crap, that's coming. Anyway, but I mean, they did the whole button lock thing. I mean, honestly, I think Kershaw's kind of missed the button lock train. I think it's almost been. Hopefully, it's been almost done to death, because I think it's a little bit overrated.
Yeah.
I do like my Malibu. Don't get me wrong. I didn't like the fact that they went up on the price because of the hype around the knife, and I think that's honestly what they did. And that's fine. You know, you're allowed to do that. It's your product. But I just think it's a little bit, it is what it is. But,
they got to capitalize, got to make the money when you can, right?
Exactly.
For that.
And I mean, if somebody's making, almost as much money on you almost as much money as the damn maker on the secondary, then the guy should make a change, And honestly, and not out in most people's budget, but Oz Machine Roosevelt, let's just say that I got one for $700, and you can sell them for $1,500. That's almost not even fair to the maker. That after all of his hard work, that you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one of the things.
Supply and demand. It becomes like that with a lot of production brands too. When something goes out of production or had a sprint run, suddenly everybody wants it, and they will pay that extra money because they missed out.
Yeah.
People have that FOMO, right? Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, people with the innovation, I think that Civivi is, they're there. I mean, they're kind of, I think that they're a little too much on the button lock train. But other than that, they're it's a good budget brand. The Elementum was a great knife. Not exactly the best blade shape for me, but I've come to realize, I mean, there's only certain times that I like a hollow ground blade. A lot of times I'm just the kind of person that for my everyday tasks, I think I'm more of a thinner profile, sharp, like a slicey,
well, you can't get much more slicier than a hollow grind, but like a full flat grind, honestly, on a
like
smaller,
a thinner profile, just a more unassuming kind of deal. Because I mean, in my head,
awesome.
Yeah, Elementum, and again, you can get it in a ton of different options.
And they made a Tonto. They made the button lock version. I like the old classic D2, just a manual.
Hell, they even made a fixed blade of that knife. They made a fixed blade. They made the flipper, the Damascus, or whatever you want to call it, the pattern steel. I mean, and honestly, I use the hell out of it. It's a good knife.
Mark mentioned as well, you carry a little Swiss Army knife in the 5th pocket, you'll always have a dependable pencil sharpener.
True.
Right?
True.
That's even the smallest. You carry the little classic or something and you're on your keys even, that knife's going to be sharp, man. That knife is always sharp.
Oh yeah, slice your thumb wide ass open too.
It is a great alternative to have, and again, another budget option, and you can get a ton of options in it, right? I'm more towards the tech tool just because of the clip, and it's kind of neat and different take on the sacks. But a Swiss Army knife, again, a great budget option. Yeah. I mean, and everybody loves them. You can find one that you love, right?
Now that you say that, because in my head, I just went inside Sportsman's Warehouse and I started like looking at the shelf, and I'm like, Mora is a great budget option.
Again, Mora, you get your little Eldris.
Yeah,
it's that's nothing. A great one. You can carry that anywhere. You throw it in your back pocket if you need to. The Eldris is a great little stubby knife with a nice full handle, which I really like in that. I can appreciate that, man.
You can carry it swimming with you and just dry it off when you're done.
I mean, that's exactly it.
It's a it's a very good little knife. I really like that knife more than I really thought I would, because I'm like, I'm spending $30, I think it was $34. I'm like, this can't be that great. And I was like, but I really like that, the way that the blade is. I like that.
Yeah.
Almost like
it has the scanning grind, but it's a little tiny blade, but you get a nice big handle to control it.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. Having the control on a small blade can make all the difference.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, and as soon as I started messing with that knife, I was like, wow, I kind of feel bad that I've kind of scoffed at this brand at times. Like everybody with their little Moras, it's like, man, you need a little cheap little rubber knife. It look like a Bowie knife or like a whatever the hell they, And I mean, I'm sure and as far as the fixed blade and like something and the whole, like that thing's got like a little fire striker on the back of it. And literally all it is a little, they just knock down the edge a little bit where it's got that, it's got that burr to it where you can and just nice little fire starter in it. It's
more thought of it, which was good, right?
Yeah.
They know the spine's going to be used because it's an outdoor knife. They specifically make outdoor style knives, which is really cool.
And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, with the make of the knife and everything, they certainly didn't charge you for that because that was a free service. Because you're literally paying for the steel and the rubber. I mean, it's almost like they made you the knife for free. That's the way I feel about it. It's like they made it for you for free. I mean, you're literally paying for materials. They're doing you a favor. That's how I feel about the Eldritch. And who would have ever thought, But anyway, I mean, it's a great budget option, something that's going to stand up to abuse. Because I beat crap out of that little knife and it's still going. I mean, it's still super sharp.
Yeah.
Still kind of make me think I'm gonna slice my hand open with it if I'm not careful. But it's a great knife. And I mean, I really should have grabbed it. I didn't even think about it. It was sitting right beside my knife case.
That's all right. People will look it up.
But and I mean, and to me it was like, and they've got it in like orange and blue. Not that
they do. They have a bunch of the different colors.
Yeah,
yellow and stuff too.
And most of them are like high visibility colors.
Yeah.
And not everybody's got the greatest vision. I have horrible vision. I mean, and it's easy to find, easy to, definitely you drop it. You're going to, I mean, and one good thing about it, it's got that big sheath, but I mean, it's got the drainage. It's got a way you can carry it around your neck. But if you drop that out of your pocket, you're going to know it.
As long as you don't get the black one. If you're out in the forest, you're getting something bright blue or the yellow or something, that, depending on the time of year, you're going to find it pretty easily, right? And I mean, that's like with a lot of their knives.
Yeah, and the sky blue color, I mean, it's gonna pop. It's gonna pop out on the ground. You're gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? There's no ground. You're not walking around on blue ground.
Yeah,
it's pretty easy to find. So, I mean, with anything that's contrasting. But yeah, I kind of want to explore more of their stuff. I want to I want to see what else. And I was looking today. They have like that pole knife or that splitting knife for the that thing's pretty nice.
They got a lot of decent stuff for working.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
that's a working man's knife, and if you don't want to bust out your folder that's $200, I mean that's a great option for carrying a fixed blade.
And also that Folsom that we
had
on the show is a great budget option.
That was my first one, man. I posted it the first of the month. It was the Folsom, man. The James brand offers, you know, decent constructed stuff for an okay price.
Yeah.
You know, so that was another great one to bring up. I was going to bring it up again. You beat me to it. All mine. I put all mine in my cubby downstairs there, unfortunately. But yeah, I had a good handful of budget ones we could speak of, and I forgot all of them now. But obviously, I've mentioned some of them in the group there. But do you want to maybe move on to more in the knife world topic? This week in knives. So
this week in knives.
I know the first thing was the Hinderer Fiasco with a soft heat treat, where he stated it was a little bit higher than it was. We're losing a couple points, but I think in the real world, you're not going to notice a couple points of hardness. If it was 5 or 7, you're going to notice a decrease in performance. But if it's like 2 points off or something like that, it's like 58 versus 60 that he said. I honestly don't think in use you'll really notice it. But
I mean, and again, I mean, the only thing is, like, if it was one knife, that's gonna happen. You know, it's metal. It's you know, there's a lot of times that, you know, it still has a mind of its own. You know, you're dealing with, you know, you're dealing with metal. You're dealing with steel. So I mean, there's times that it doesn't act the way it's supposed to act. But that's just, you know, that's according to us. But it's acting the way it wants to act, because we don't really have, you know. But anyway, I mean, it's if it was one, then that's fine, of course. I mean, but that's not a test of anything. You know, test the next 600 knives he makes. You know, test the next 1,000. You know, don't
test the previous 1,000 he put out.
Exactly.
That type of thing, right?
And honestly, if it's something across the board that he's been doing that he's just, I mean, that
he's been straight out lying about, it's a different story.
Then he should really explain what the situation was, why he felt it was better just to keep quiet and just let people find out on their own. Or, you know, if they were having issues with heat treat, you know, if it wasn't coming out properly, if it was the steel that they were getting for a certain amount of time, or, you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it just, you know, tell people what's up with your company. If you're having issues, then maybe, I mean, if your heat treat's not proper, then maybe you should work on that and maybe just not sell knives for a day. And fucking get your heat treat dialed in, or whatever it is.
Just rehone it, right? Like if it was set to it and suddenly they're coming out a bit funky, you got to rehone it. You know, I mean, it happens.
But I mean, for everybody to run out and start selling their Hinderer knives and whatnot, it's like it's kind of funny, because it's like I don't really get the philosophy behind that. There's a lot worse things people could do to make you want to sell their knives that you bought because you liked. I've never been a fan of Hinderer. You know, I've always thought that it was, you know, he's kind of a one-trick pony, and that's cool. You know, just like Chris Reed, you know, he makes one knife and he makes it well. You know, he makes it really well. It's a very nicely made knife. It is. I've actually finally, I know it's silly, but I finally got to handle a Sabenza and actually disassembled one. But very nicely done. Very overpriced.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's how much technology he has to use. I don't know how whatever costs that much more, or whatever it is that I just don't see it being worth the money. Because honestly, and I guess it's just the scarcity of it, but I would rather get something that was a little bit more expensive that I actually enjoyed, versus the other. But geez, I just lost my train of thought. The hell was I going with that stupid rant?
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, people just, I don't know, just don't run out and sell your knives just because some kid said, well, I tested on my machine and it said this. I don't know the full story behind it. Yeah. I just know that, and I mean, I'm going to segue into this because I got to. Like I said a minute ago, there's a lot worse things people can do.
This is the next one.
There truly is, because I'm sure most people have heard. If they haven't, I don't even know. Am I allowed to talk about shit like this?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be talking about Isham. If you've got a little bit of,
I was looking forward to meeting the guy.
Tender feelings.
Elijah Isham, apparently from Isham Blade Works, makes the used to make the Isham Black Star that I actually own. The designer of the McKenna for Sadibi, the Plethros, the Anthropos, the Megatherium, the Minitherium, the Theta, Kaiser Theta, many, the Zeta, many great knives, the Arrakis, many great knives this man has made. He was an artist. And you notice I keep using past tense because this man decided that after an accident and a rollover that he was going to pull a gun or point a gun at police, disobey or not acknowledge 41 commands to drop his weapon, and he was shot and killed.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm from the South. There are laws for a reason.
Yep.
The easiest way to not get unalived by someone is to follow commands.
Yes, 100%.
You can't threaten police with a firearm, and if you did it for them to get rid of you, how dare you? That's selfish, and you made those men go home and question everything that they've ever done in their lives to take them to that point.
Yep.
And I think that's horrible to do that to someone. But that's my opinion. Other people say that Isham should be honored. He was a great artist. He was a great knife maker. Really, really, really great ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was troubled, and I'm not.
Well, that's it. So the details are still a bit cloudy of his state and what went on. Yeah. So he could have been battling with mental illness, and we've heard nothing but about mental illness in the last couple of years, and it's a hell of a thing. So if he was dealing with something like that, still not saying like honestly we should honor him because
no.
I mean, after X amount of commands from a police officer and then drawing a firearm, that right there, it's a huge mistake. So if anything, it should open eyes more to mental health awareness versus anything else. And that's if they're tributing him, that it should be towards that versus the designs, in my opinion.
It just because you have money and just because you're popular and just because everyone wants your designs doesn't mean that you're okay.
Yep.
A lot of people aren't, but most 90% of those people don't turn around and point a gun and fire. Point a gun at police. I don't know. I can't understand the logic behind that, and
again, having mental illness, going in a rollover, man, he could have got bashed the crap around, and the brain's crazy. So then suddenly he's like, "Oh, these guys are gonna do something," and so it heightened whatever he may have had, and that was his right decision at the time, right?
And I mean, a young life was ended, and 2 other lives were destroyed.
Well, that's the whole thing. People don't
family
see.
And friends and co-workers and confidants.
People don't think of the rest of the stuff that actually can happen when the officers were forced to take his life. And so that guy goes home and has to live with maybe he never even fired his gun in the line of duty. And now he's got to live with it. He fired and killed a man. etc. So it affects tons more people than just the people involved all the time, and that's with any shooting, anytime, anywhere. And it can happen. Even suicide attempts, right? And I spoke to Riley before the show just briefly, being a truck driver, and that I was taught that, you want to be extra careful. People walking on the sidewalk. One guy decides to just step out and end his life one time. My truck hits him. I got blood all over the windscreen. What am I going to do? How's my mental state going to get affected, right? I don't know. So it's not just him and his family and his immediate circle. It's everything around it. And so it could be selfish in a way. People can see it as selfish in a way that happened. It definitely could have been injuries from the accident that had caused him to have the break to pull it out. It could have been him having mental illness and finding a way out, which would be absolutely terrible, right? So the more it investigates, it's going to be an interesting story to see unfold in that sense, right?
Yeah, but those
are deep ass topics that we don't cover on the Knivesmen, because we're here to look at knives and talk about knives.
But let me just say this: don't I think that people have a hard time understanding a lot of it, but don't just automatically attack someone on either side of the board. I'm sure that people in their heart, for some reason, they hold a candle for this man, and that's fine.
We're not putting that down.
We're not here to say that you're wrong for feeling the way you feel. You know why? Because you're a human being and you're allowed to feel any way you want to feel.
Yes.
That's not my business. I'm just stating a simple opinion of an ignorant, silly man down in the South. That's it. And that's just the way I see it. No big deal. It's not going to hurt anyone. It's not going to affect anyone. What I think or say doesn't matter. I'm just a person, just like everyone else. So,
that's right.
We're not here to, we're not here to, make people think bad things. We just want to address the things that are actually, making the knife community a little bit weird right now. And honestly, I'm sure that Blade Show is going to, be something of, it's going to be a solemn affair, I would say. Because it's gonna foreshadow this. I would not be surprised if, maybe Blade Show might even, I don't know. I mean, no, I don't know. It's in Atlanta, they have shootings every day. So who knows? They might be like, shit, show goes on, I'm sure, it's going to be a solemn affair,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to go on. They'll probably have a little panel.
Yeah, a little tribute to him and a little, a little announcement and whatnot.
Yep. Guaranteed. Right, because what he added to the knife community still, obviously, you can't just turn your nose up at and ignore. So everybody that loves the knives and has loved his designs, obviously it's a blow, just like when Osborne passed away, that type of thing. You're never going to get a new design from that maker. And that sucks.
Yeah. Regardless of what happened, it was a tragedy all the way around.
For everyone involved, right? And that's the whole thing. For everyone involved, it was sucky, right?
And true to fact, I mean, true that we had, the knife world has lost, an absolutely just crazy artist.
Young designer, which is probably the worst, because we're used to seeing like Mel Pardue not that long ago passed away, and he designed so many, and it's like, wow, shoot, right? What could he have offered, right?
I myself, I was looking. I mean, I have a McKenna in there. I've had a Plethros. I've had an Anthropos. I've got an Isham Black Star. I've got a very expensive Isham Black Star, and I still like the knife. Wonderful design. But I was really interested to see where he was going to end up in the later years.
Go. That's right. That's right. Where the designs would have went, right? And you don't get to see that now, which is unfortunate. We lose that.
Exactly. And I mean, I think he would have changed the knife world even more than he already had, because I believe he did change the knife world in a lot of ways. The way that people, I mean, look at the things that he opened up for we, like how we became, one of the people that everybody went to get their knives made, because look what they did with Isham, or Isham. I mean, it's like, he opened a lot of doors for a lot of people, and, he did a lot, but, it's not anymore. So with that being said, And honestly, I don't really think anything else is really coming up. I mean, nothing really good has been happening as far as like nothing. I mean, anything good or innovative really coming out. I do like the one that Lanning showed us. I think that was like the Federalist or the Governor or some shit. I think it was the Federalist is the name of it or something. Decent little design, and
That's
yeah.
Kershaw.
I think after Blade Show, I think that's when things are gonna start going again.
Again, it's always the way. We usually have a nice slow start to the year, and then suddenly come June, that's when we start getting flooded with all the good stuff, right? So
yeah, I think, and I hope that they've been holding out because it'll be my first Blade Show, so I definitely want to
we're gonna have some exclusive coverage here, guys. Riley's actually going to Blade Show in Atlanta, and so if you guys do have anybody that you are interested in learning more about, or any brand, etc., other than Spyderco, don't make him go talk to Sal and Eric. He's not going to want to. Let us know in the comments, or join IBEDC. Let us know in the group for sure on Facebook that you want to see somebody. You want to talk to some maker and see, who knows what their inspiration is for X design or whatever, right? We're gonna have some coverage from Blade Show, which is gonna be awesome. I mean, that I'm a little bit jealous. I'm gonna say that much.
And apparently going to be helping exhibit for Rayot Knives, so that should be fun.
BS. Come on, man. This he gets a pass. He just gets a free pass because he's got connections to get into the show with a buddy. I'm going to be helping.
I'm the exhibitor.
Yeah, Mr. Exhibitor is going to get in early.
I get an inside look at the setups and stuff, so hopefully that I can add that footage in and let people get kind of an inside look at hopefully how it works a little bit.
That'll be really cool.
Hopefully we'll get some good content. So, but yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to have the content loaded up here to the YouTube and up on IBEDC as well. We're going to try to make sure everything's posted and give you guys the best look we can. Riley's going to try his hardest to be a great cameraman, and
I'll probably record everything and just send it to Paul and make him edit it, because I've never edited a thing in my life. I can't edit
for jack shit, so I mean, whatever. We'll see how it goes.
We'll just have a bunch of staring at the floor talking about, how much is that? How much is that? How much is that?
I'm gonna make sure he takes good shots, because I don't want to have to try to cut videos in half on a phone, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have any good software I don't touch the laptop other than the show. But yeah, we'll try to get some of that in order, and that's gonna be pretty cool. That's coming up very soon. We'll upload it here to the YouTube and IBEDC, of course. So
I mean, you never can tell. Depending on how it goes, we might try to. I mean, it's going to be on a Saturday, so we might have to, if you can have a show going on, and I can pop in from my phone.
Hey, we might have it in and out. Yeah, you never know, right?
Yep.
We'll have the live feed from Blade Show.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I can't promise that, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're not going to promise anything. We'll see what we can do. Yeah.
So.
But yeah. And hopefully as soon as Blade Show gets here, man, some better, just some more things are going to come out. I think, this lull is just,
it's been quiet. It's been quiet, right? So I'm hoping they can show us some real good stuff for sure.
And I guess it was a lot to do with like slip joint being the thing to release, in the last.
They've really started cracking at that, and
the button lock and the double D pin. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll play with it from there, and I guess we can wrap it up.
Yeah. Yep.
Bye, everybody. That's it. No, just bye. Yeah, we'll call it. I mean, good show. Any questions or comments and stuff, for sure, join the IBEDC Facebook group. Comment on the video. I check it once in a while. I mean, it's sometimes hard to get all the notifications with multiple YouTube accounts going on. But we appreciate everybody watching. And Mark and Chris chiming in. It was really awesome. Mark, thank you for all the comments. And I know we'll catch you next time. Until then, please join the Facebook group. That's where you're going to get all the prime video from Blade Show coming up. And I mean, it's just a group of like-minded dudes that, we're not judging what you carry, man. We love everything. And Mark, thank you. You enjoy the rest of your weekend as well. And Mark wishes us a great rest of the weekend. Thank you so much. I start tomorrow, unfortunately, driving truck again. But, what can you do? Anyways, everybody, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Riley, anything? No?
No, not really. We'll see you next time, and we'll probably have other things to talk about. Hopefully not so,
We got lots of stuff in the works. Lanning is the brain. He came up with a good couple topics that we're going to touch on. Lanning was in a couple of the beginning ones. Unfortunately, his work schedule changed, and we hope to have him back again because he's a good talker. He gets a lot of the stuff out here for us. And we appreciate everybody in the group, everybody in our team running it. Awesome, guys. And we hope to catch you next time. And please stay safe out there and stay healthy, everyone. We will catch you next time. We are the Knivesmen.
Later, guys.